Guys, hey guys, Button 25 here watching Launch of a progress from Baikonur. Yeah, despite this whole thing, something's gotta go ahead. We do want to keep the astronauts up on the ISS fed in water, essentially in the ISS in operable condition.
We're standing by for the launch command.
Now we got the first,
and the first of the umbilicals now retracting. Once the second umbilical retracts, that will initiate the launch command for main engine start. There goes the second umbilical. We have a go for main engine
start.
There's
the ignition.
We have main engine start.
There we go. Engines are spooling
Turbo
up.
pumps now coming up to flight speed.
Because of course the Soyuz uses a system where it gradually brings things up to flight speed.
And liftoff. Liftoff of the 75th Progress resupply ship on a fast-track 2-orbit flight to the International Space Station.
Now, I just noticed there appears to be some kind of Russian metal kind of painted on the side of the fairing.
The Soyuz 2.1A booster arcing out to the northeast from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. All parameters are reported to be normal. The International Space Station is now flying directly over the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The Soyuz now moving through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, going supersonic as it heads downrange. Soyuz traveling at 2,500 miles an hour, some 15 miles in altitude now, 10 miles downrange from the Baikonur Cosmodrome.
Yeah, just check this. This Progress MS-14.
All parameters are reported to be normal by the engineers of the blockhouse in Baikonur as we stand by for first stage shutdown and separation.
I'm also trying to figure out what that metal is. There we go.
And we have first stage shutdown. Second stage engines up and running in good shape.
I'm going at maximum. So this is the actual Russian feed that's bad. Not my settings.
The flight is reported to be proceeding in nominal fashion.
Which means everything's fine.
Good structural parameters being reported. The Soyuz second stage is guiding the Progress resupply ship on a precise path to its preliminary orbit.
Of course, for those wondering, the Progress is just basically an unmanned cargo version of the Soyuz. Ah, okay, so it's a commemorative, so the medal thing at the side, is to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II.
All the vehicle parameters are in good shape. Good engine performance from the second stage engines.
As it's called in Russia.
And this view from a camera on the upper stage of the Soyuz 2.1A.
It's on the Progress, because you can see the solar panels there. I always like watching the Soyuz solar panels deploy because they just pop out so quickly.
The Soyuz traveling now at about 7,300 miles an hour. 81 miles in altitude, 190 miles downrange from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The second stage engine continues to function normally, all good structural parameters being reported.
So now we're just waiting for the first stage to separate, I believe. Unless I missed that. No, I think that's that there. Whoop. I guess, yeah, now the upper stage has separated. Now it's going to push Progress the rest of the way into orbit.
And we're standing by for second stage shutdown and separation.
We've already seen that on the cameras.
All good reports coming in from the blockhouse at Baikonur. Good structural parameters being reported. The flight continues to proceed in nominal fashion. Yaw, pitch and roll. Good reports coming in from Baikonur as the Soyuz continues to do its job. Well over halfway through its ascent to place the Progress on a path to the International Space Station.
Also, if you confuse the Soyuz, is both the rocket and the manned spacecraft. Because originally the Soyuz rocket was kind of developed to launch the Soyuz manned spacecraft. But it can be launched. It can be used to launch other things.
Third stage engine performance up and running in good shape as we cross the 7-minute mark into the flight. About 1 minute and 40 seconds of powered flight remaining. Animation now being generated by real-time telemetry from the Soyuz 2.1A booster.
Shouldn't be too long before we have stuff.
As we're about a minute and 15 seconds away from third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation.
The way that's going to happen is obviously there's going to be explosive bolts that will fire to allow the Progress to come away from the, separate from the upper stage.
The Soyuz booster traveling almost 13,000 miles an hour, 122 miles in altitude, more than 600 miles downrange from the Baikonur Cosmodrome.
The valve will be opened inside of the upper
Third stage engine continues to burn in perfect fashion as we cross the 8-minute mark.
The valve leads to the oxygen tank, the liquid oxygen tank.
Good stable vehicle being reported. As soon as the Progress separates from the third stage, control of the flight of the Progress will revert back to the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow. We're standing by now for third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation.
There we go. We've got engine shut off, separation.
And we have third stage
And
shutdown.
here you can see the liquid oxygen
and
venting into
separation.
space there, pushing away the upper stage. And there's going to be
Next
some
event
antennas.
will be the deployment of the Progress's solar arrays and navigational antennas.
You can watch this.
And you see
Boink.
that function now in work.
You see how quickly that deploys. Are those look like there's less
And
actual
all of
surface
the
area?
appendages have now been deployed, the solar arrays and the navigational antenna and the TV boom on the Progress. A perfect launch and a perfect ride to its preliminary orbit. Launch occurring at 8:51 and 41 seconds p.m. Central Time, 9:51:41 Eastern Time. A good ride uphill on the Soyuz 2.1A booster, and so the Progress chase is now on to reach the International Space Station, with docking scheduled at 12:12 a.m. Central Time, 1:12 a.m. Eastern Time.
Cannot make an announcement in, well, I guess it's BST at this point, but it's summertime. Well, then again, this is actually something I never actually thought about up until now. Do the clocks go forward and back on the International Space Station?
About an hour or so after sunrise at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, the Soyuz 2.1A booster took flight, delivering the Progress resupply vehicle, the 75th Progress resupply ship, to a perfect orbit, a preliminary orbit, a series of engine firings, pre-programmed engine burns. Now we'll raise the Progress's orbit and put it on a path to reach the International Space Station. There's our first view through the Progress's external television camera.
Yep.
All of the Progress's systems are in excellent shape. The Progress carrying 2.78 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the residents of the International Space Station. We will be back on the air at 11:30 p.m. Central Time, 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, with our rendezvous and docking coverage. Docking scheduled again at 12:12 a.m. Central, 1:12 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday morning. So be back with us in a couple of hours and rejoin our coverage at that time. Until then, this is Mission Control Houston.
But yeah, I'm not going to be back for that because I need sleep. I'm Botchin 25, that was Launch Progress MS-14. Goodbye.